What's up, guys? Let me shout out Big Cringe Mong. Horrible name, by the way, bro. But he said he had the book for 2 weeks. I already read it 3 times. Jumped 300 points. My man, my man. Just I'm gonna shout out all my people, man. All my people seeing success. Shout outs to the trainer Orange. Who's a 1300 ladder player. Never really got into it much because he's a draft main. And looked into some of the guides, the free stuff. A lot of free stuff here, guys. Go to the playlist down below. And he jumped 200, 300. Come on, guys. Let's get it together. Alright, let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's Mr. Jambin, and today we are back on the Pokemon Showdown server. And today we're going to be using this balance team. Somebody in my comments keep asking me, Jam, can you use a balance team? Which is interesting because generally this is what I'll use. Yeah, so going to be using balance today. Before we begin, remember, you guys, Friday, player signups close on Friday. So today, when this is coming out, it's gonna be Tuesday or Wednesday morning, depending on where you live, or even Wednesday afternoon, who knows. And so you have until then to sign up. So let's get this party started. Yesterday I made a few errors with my Dragapult Shadow Force, and you guys left it in the comments, so shout outs to you guys for that. Because, you know, I got the opportunity to realize. I'm not sure why my mind was thinking in that way, but you know, no downside. I either won or I learned one. But I could have won a lot of you guys said that I should have grudged. Thing is, the Hippo still would have stalled me out between King's Shield Stand and eventual Grassy Glide. So my play there was to just kill the Togekiss, and then I would have won the game because I didn't, you know, attack the Hippowdon. So it's the only thing that could come in on me and survive. And then I'd sweep. If he goes Rillaboom to knock out my Dragapult, that means my Volcarona is Giga Drain. It's now Stab. So I Quiver Dance, not one shot the Hippowdon, which he doesn't want. So that was all I needed to do. But thanks for pointing that out. So looking at this, Tyranitar's core purpose in this one is going to be probably lower Hatterene and hit it with Rock Blast. Defensively, it's decent depending on what his Darm is. Most Darms are probably gonna beat T-Tar 1v1. Loses to Zone, loses to Rillaboom, potentially Darm. More probably Hatterene. Really only handles the Mandibuzz, so he has a control out the ass. Tangrowth is gonna be important for Rillaboom. With Rocky Helmet, getting that Rocky Helmet damage on Urshifu, because that's going to come into play in Excadrill KOing him with a high horsepower. Clefable, upon Calm Minding, quite literally sweeps my opponent, depending on what his Magazone set is. But that's definitely going to be something I'm leaning towards. A combination of Tangrowth and Clefable are going to go a long way. You're going to see that. Because if he's Woodhammer, Rillaboom, he can knock me out, but I can get the Rocky Helmet. So I'm gonna need rocks. Can't get him up though. Magnezone upon subbing actually destroys my opponent low key. And he's very weak to Dragapult. I'd have to figure out a way to get his Mandibuzz status. Yeah, I'd figure out a way to get his Mandibuzz status. Which is why this had Thunderbolt initially, which I understand. Just like Hex since it's status spam. But yeah, Excadrill, Tangrowth, and Clef go crazy in this one. Magnezone can go crazy as well. Dragapult can go crazy as well. The thing I guard the poorest against is definitely the Urshifu, which is why I'm gonna have to start off with okay, so he's Urshifu Water, which is good information, because what that does is I'm probably gonna be staring down Mandibuzz. So what I'm gonna likely the next couple turns is gonna be end with Tyranitar Rock Blasting Hatterene. So his Choice Scarf gives me that bit of information. I'm staring down Mandibuzz, then Mandibuzz versus T-Tar, or I could opt for Mandibuzz versus. Maybe Mandibuzz versus T-Tar isn't the best. So he actually goes Darmanitan. I don't understand that at all. Like, at all. Maybe my opponent is... Like, he would have just died. I don't get the Darm decision, but it worked out for him because positionally I can't go into what I want. Maybe he's tried to do that to cover for let's say Thunderbolt, or he was just willing at that point, you know, if I lose Darmanitan, I lose it. And he's like, okay, fine. And so at this point, I'm fearing either Earthquake, Bandit Earthquake, U-turn, something of that nature. Tough situation if he has Earthquake. So I'm gonna go Tangrowth to scout. So he has superpower. Gets a crit there. Rocky Helmet, and he's Life Orb. So that's an annoying crit, but it is what it is. A very odd decision in him sacking Darm. So that gives me a bit of information right off jump. Obviously, I can't afford to lose Tangrowth. And so I'm gonna opt back for T-Tar. Yeah, I'm gonna opt back for T-Tar. Dragapult would make sense. And so I get to Pult here because it covers both Hatterene and Right. And so I can Shadow Ball hard. I don't think he knows I'm Specs. Well, let's think about this. These leftovers, if Hatterene gets dropped, I'm going to just Shadow Ball here, just based on how he plays. So that's a pretty big deal, which means I now get Rocks up. He has a whole Mandibuzz, right? And I again, that's why I'm like, I'm assuming he didn't know I was Specs. But just on how he plays, like there's certain things you just don't ever need to do. So I'm gonna get the Sand back up, that way my Extra Drill can properly handle potential Darmanitan as he opts for Shifu. Interesting decision. He can't Rapid Strikes. He's probably gonna U-turn, take the Rocky Helmet with him. The fact that he is that variant of Urshifu means he's far less threatening. And that's what I talked about with the Rocky Helmet. So now Tangrowth just destroys everything except Darmanitan. And we've already got Darmanitan at 32%. You know what I'm saying? Dragapult is lower than I'd like. And so he's also Rillaboom as his switch-in. Which you mean, obviously he's going to go for the U-turn. I want my... Well, there is a chance that this isn't U-turn. U-turn won't knock me out here, I don't think. But if he is Swords Dance, it's based on how he plays. Yeah. Okay. So that was my best bet if he was Swords Dance. Actually, does Sandstorm go before? Sandstorm goes before it. But now I know he's Choice Banded Rillaboom, which is good info. Which means Magnezone's about to go crazy. So if I opt for T-Tar into Rocks here, then I'm staring down. Let me think this through. Based on how he plays, if I hit this, then my Dragapult just destroys him. I don't want to give Rillaboom a free switching again. So I'm going to actually go... I don't want Rillaboom coming in and going for a grass move. He asks for the Magnezone. That's fine by me. Magnezone Sword. Oh, okay. That's grassy terrain. This is kind of tricky because he could be... he could be Specs and just go straight for U-turn. If he Specs goes straight for a Volt Switch, I mean, then I'm staring down what, Rillaboom. So he just seems to be Specs. I'd assume. And then oh, come on, dude. Come on, man. So Magnezone being gone means a lot for my Clef. It's just very frustrating when shit like that happens. Because it's like... Now I kind of have to give him Clef, which didn't need to be the case. and I have one less Grassy Glide switching. So, you know, I have 50% more of my health. In fact, I don't even think the water move would have knocked me out from here had it been that way. Now upside, I have Draco to spam. I'm just questioning. Right now he can't guard against Clefable, so I'm gonna use that to my advantage. I'll give him this. See, Surging Strike would not have knocked out my Magnezone had it been higher on health. But again, I can now Draco Meteor. I'm pretty sure Mandibuzz gets 2 KO'd. And we'll just do a kill for kill kind of situation. Thankfully we connect. So this always trips me up because their Shifu doesn't go away. And so he has to go to Mandibuzz slash Rillaboom, right? I'd assume U-turn here. Because, you know, obviously Grassy Glide would be dangerous. But I think with Clef Life Orb, because I have to keep Dragapult, and I have to keep. So he Grassy Glides. Swear the Magnezone luck was really bad, because again, had Magnezone been higher, I knew he couldn't go for Surging Strikes versus Magnezone, so he had to CC, which meant I could switch. But it is what it is. I just gotta deal. Okay, Darm dies, which is a big deal, and so now it forces Wood Hammer, which is something I wanted because, you know, obviously we want Drill. Yeah, Wood Hammer there, and now that should be checkmate, assuming I connect here with my Draco Meteor. Should 2 KO Mandibuzz. Please, for the love of God, connect. Thank you. And so now he can't Grassy Glide for the win. Let me run this calc real quick, because if Draco Meteor doesn't do enough to where Wood Hammer knocks out, or because this is still not over, because he technically could Grassy Glide here. I just need to know if Grassy Glide 2 KOs Max Clef. Rillaboom. OU Choice Band. Clef is so damn tanky. I'd be mad disappointed if Max Clef gets 2 KO by Grassy Glide. So Grassy Glide does 53 to 62, so it does. And so then my second question is Dragapult. Fuck. Okay, I crit him. God bless. So he went for Wood Hammer there. So basically, because my timer was wearing out, that was gonna be a 50-50 there. If he Grassy Glided and I sacked Dragapult, he won. If I switched to Clef and he Wood Hammered, I won. Obviously Clef would go down to Wood Hammer. Actually no, it's actually not a guaranteed kill. Let me see. It's actually in my favor to survive the Wood Hammer. So he'd have needed Max on the Wood Hammer to knock me out anyway. Never mind. I mean, it's still in my favor. So Draco Meteoring was probably the better of the two, like odds wise. And he had a pretty solid team. Like his team could have given me more trouble because I didn't have anything for his Darm. But you know, she switched from Urshifu to Darm into Dragapult. It's just interesting. But again, that gave a read for the type of player it likely was and how far along this, and then it ended up playing out. But yeah, Rillaboom would have to Wood Hammer for the win. Oh yeah, we were trying to find out how much Dragapult would have done without the crit. And so depending on how much Drago would have done, then the crit might have not have even mattered, because at -4 Draco might do versus modest. I'm probably timid. There's no one on the ladder, I guess. No, I'm modest. Wow, it's power. Now I'm glad I know that now. But -4 modest Draco Meteor did. Actually, I won guaranteed. It did 38 to 45, and he wasn't at that much. I think I killed him at 41. I don't remember, but like that plus Woodhammer recoil likely would have won me the game. So it turns out I made the correct play. Alright, so in this one, Love Tyranitar versus the Volcarona versus the Dragapult and the Kyurem. T-Tar about to go crazy. In fact, the only two things that can beat my Tyranitar 1v1 are Scizor and Urshifu. You know, obviously we have the Zonester for the Scizor. Remove that. And then Rocky Helmet and Clefable are going to go crazy. In fact, Clefable, upon combining here, is pretty devastating. Excadrill is absolutely devastating as well. So keep Tyranitar at the utmost. Smack the Shuckle with Scizor early. I mean with Driller early. Clef's core purpose versus a physical Dragapult. Shut that down. Shut Urshifu down. So don't allow that to ever come in. Use T-Tar. What am I gonna use versus Kyurem? I guess I have to use T-Tar a little bit because I have a Dragapult and the Drill, so I'm semi decent versus, and then Volcarona, but I'll still have to play around that. Let's see what the Kyurem does before I go on a limb there, but probably gonna throw Magnezone. And then as far as Dragapult's concerned, I Shadow Ball spam through his team once the Shuckle gets dropped. So let's see his counter lead to my obvious Excadrill. He doesn't counter lead it, which means, oh, red card. What the fuck? Oh shit. So I'm gonna get his Dragapult here then, because obviously he's gonna rocks into going to Dragapult. I get red carded, like the worst thing on the team. Like literally the worst thing. So like he gets to get rocks up here. It is what it is. I actually asked for Volk. Maybe he thought that, oh, my man just making plays. Either way, Tangrowth is gonna be my choice. As I said, I'm gonna be going for the Rocky Helmet situation. He's choice banded. Always gonna soft boil here, and as long as I keep my strong points, it's pretty difficult for him to really gain any ground unless he has Bug Buzz. So he Quiver Dances unless he's just willing to give up his Volcarona here, which he does. It's in trade for my T-Tar, which is a big deal, but because I have full health Clef, I'm gonna double out T-Tar into. Let's think about this. We're staring down Scizor. Potential U-turn coming out. Can't guard against the U-turn. So Clef, once Sizz is gone, can Calm Mind beat his team. I do need T-Tar rested, or I need Stealth Rocks up. Zone can get a lot of mileage, but his Dragapult's a little problematic. So I just need to predict correctly once and get T-Tar rested. I'll let Zone eat the hit. He actually BP'd, so he's Life Orb. I'd BP there. I assume it's probably Infiltrator Pult for sure. And so I'd assume what I'm gonna do is T-Bolt hard here. Very odd decision making, because Scizor is dead, which means Clef is gonna go crazy, unless he's superpower, in which case Pult comes in, knocks out. Still fine. Sand Tomb, huh? What is that? Fuck. What is that? What the fuck is that? That changes a lot. That changes a lot, as I'm gonna have to give up T-Tar. I wish I knew that was Sand Tomb. I haven't seen Sand Tomb in God knows how long. What's this guy's point? 1960. Oh, I want his points then. Bet I'm on his points. So things are gonna get real interesting towards this end part here. Bullet Point Sand Tomb. What's the other move they'd run? And I'm also jolly on that. And so I'm going to try to get him to attack in my T-Tar because I gotta sack it anyway. He has a Roost. Fuck. Shit. I'm getting good rolls on the rock slides, which is important because he needs the sandstorm stall. That's tough. That's tough. My T-Tar is getting healed though, which is a big deal. Because he needs to be able to one-shot my Excadrill. And so I can't even switch here. Well, actually I could. I didn't think he'd risk me having Sleep Powder on the Tangrowth. But I didn't know if his other move would be Roost. So Roost Sandstorm. This is tough. What's my solution here? I Rock Blast again. I drill Tangrowth sack. He's Sand Tombed. So I'll Stun Spore here. Obviously he's gonna Roost. I lose now. Because now he gets the Swords Dance again. I don't know if he outsped me, so that wouldn't have changed anything. So I didn't think he'd Sand Tomb my drill, which meant that he knew that means he must be max speed because he was confident he outsped me. So this set destroyed me. So I just learned a lot from that particular Scizor set. I've never seen that, but it makes sense if you're trying to trap Pex. So what I should have done instead, well, now that I know Sand Tomb's a possibility, I'd play that differently. Because what I do is just go hard to my Dragapult, which doesn't go down to any hit. So it would cover Sand Tomb or anything else. But I was also, if they're gonna set up with their Tangrowth, set up with their Scizor versus Magnezone, then I'd assume what I'd do is, like, what if I knew Sand Tomb was a thing? The turn I went for T-Bolt versus his Scizor, I knew he had to attack the next turn, but I thought he had knockoff, and I was like, okay, well, if he has knockoff, if it's not knockoff and he can knock me out, then he has to go for superpower. And so I'm like, well, if he goes to superpower, then Dragapult lives. But he had Sand Tomb Roost, and because of that, that threw off the entire thing. And this team is not structured to deal with Sticky Web plus a Sand Tomb Roost Scizor. So I have no regrets, but I definitely learned a lot from that game. Which sucks, but I thought that was a very easy win. I thought that was a very, very easy win. Let's see, T-Tar is gonna be very important in guarding against the two flyings, and to weather check. Tangrowth shuts down his other means of offense. Now Magnezone is gonna be insanely important in this one. Insanely so. It's going to depend a lot on what his Kiss set is. Also, Driller is going to be incredibly important. So I'll need to get up my Stealth Rocks pretty early. I also need to destroy him with Dragapult very early. In order for that to happen, I'll need to find out what his Driller is. I'd assume it's not just a lead drill because he has a Torkoal, but I could be incorrect about that. And so Driller with Rocks Up absolutely obliterates my opponent's team. Rocks get up pretty easily, but the two things that, you know, I'd guard poorly against would definitely be Urshifu and Drill. And so for that very reason, I'm gonna try to bait those things out and smack them early. So Urshifu in, Obviously, if he has the sucker, if he has the U-turn, whatever. In any situation here, Tangrowth might play. Why? After, let's say Tangrowth comes in, his alternate, like let's say he's ballsy and U-turns here. The only downsides I'll have in that situation are Togekiss, which is T-Tarble, Charizard, which is T-Tarble, Torkoal, and Venusaur. And so Venusaur, which I can just go back to Polton. So off straight for the Wicked Blow, risking the so he is not even choiced. He's not even what's it called? He's not even. He's Life Orb, which did a lot more to me than I expected, considering Band did, you know, like a ton. So he's probably going for the double hit on Clef, which wouldn't have been that big a deal to me, considering Clef loses to most of his team. And so my opponent is likely going to be fearing something along the lines of the I'll still Sludge Bomb. As he bulks up, so be it. Obviously here he's gonna knock me out with the Wicked Blow because he doesn't want to get his defense drop. So now this is another threat that I have to account for, and I don't have too much for it. So I'm gonna have to get creative here. I'm gonna go to T-Tar here. I know I said T-Tar is really important, but I need to make sure that, please don't poison. Oh my god. And so I have to get very creative here. So now he's guaranteed died unless he poison jabs again, right? So Life Orb plus Sand, because this could really, if he has Sucker Punch as his other move and no CC, that means, because he Wicked Blowed my T-Tar, so he probably doesn't have it. This allows for me to Soft Boil. We trade our Shifu. I'm gonna have to rest up with T-Tars. I'm gonna have to play this game a lot differently than I intended to because of that just now. Now, upside is Dragapult is unguardable, right? And so Dragapult has the unique asset of he can't switch into it just as much as he can't switch into anything else. He probably anticipated me to T-Tar pivot. Since this is a bulky drill and Magnezone is such a problem, that's a big crit there. That's a big crit because he didn't get to get any damage off on me. And so it's a question of whether or not this is scarfed. I'd assume so. Yeah. Rest here. Oh. I don't want to endgame this then, since I know he's scarfed. If I go Driller, he sacks Torkoal, and I'm staring down Venusaur. If I go Magnezone, he sacks Torkoal, and I'm staring down Venusaur, but I can stall out the sun a bit. Ah, that's a big crit. Bigger crit than certainly than the Torkoal, but I mean the Drill, because Drill couldn't kill Polt. But you never know, like everything matters, and so it's not. I need a T-Tar there. Maybe I shouldn't have even risked that, to be honest. But the rest there would have been huge, because that could have been a roll, you know. I shouldn't have even risked that in hindsight. So if I throw this game away because of that, I'm not, like, the game's far from over, but I'm just debating which route would be better. Torkoal, Sacrifice, Venusaur. If I SD, the Venusaur can't. No, he'll just go to Charizard and get a kill. So my best play here is to sub and catch his Torkoal, because he's going to sack Torkoal here. And what it does is it loses a ton of Sun turns. He could switch the Torkoal out, but that would be pretty risky. He does sack it, switch it out though. And so he's gonna Weather Ball spam, and I just want to get him into Dragapult range, because the way this is gonna play out is probably Sun turns. Sun turns. Because what I don't want is for him to growth. Though Polt can still take the hit. Polt is my only way to beat his Charizard. And so I can't have that get too low and then him manage to get up rocks. Though, impossible for him to get up rocks. So let's stall out one more turn of Sun. He's at 71. Because I'm going to have to sack the zone either way. And so I might as well stall out as much turns of Sun as I can. That's not true. That's actually not true. So if I opt for... So I'm actually going to do is Thunderbolt here. To make sure that he's within, because then I'm going to go to Polt, which takes any 2 hits. I need to actually have an extra mon to sack to his Togekiss. Yeah, because Polt's just stupid bulky. Because he might go to Togekiss here because it eats, right? And I knew this would be a matchup situation where I'll have to give up an extra mon. Now, if this is somewhat of a prediction, because if he no, I know what I can do. I can go to Excadrill here. Doesn't die to Flamethrower, East Dazzling Gleam, right? And I have to double back out to Dragapult here. I really wish I had the Rock Slide. Because the problem is Zard. Depending on what his Zard set is, okay, so he just goes Torkoal. Excellent. So this is amazing because it positions me where Venusaur can't come in and just growth. And it positions me where the Charizard can't just come in and do what he wants. So obviously my worst case scenario would be can never go Tangrowth because it gives Venusaur a growth opportunity, and then it can just Giga Drain me away. I have to have something in that it can't kill. And so let me think. Excadrill, if he Flamethrowers, KO, then because what I want to be careful of is also so I'm gonna go Driller instead. If he Flamethrowered, it means that Dragapult comes back in, picks up the KO versus this, and I won't be, because that's what I was afraid of, me being in range of the Venusaur's hit. And so I'd assume Weather Ball. Yeah, he still wins. Still wins. So like my T-Tar not being around ended up being too much, because Flamethrower at that point did a little more than I expected because of the Sun Boost, obviously, and so it put me in range of Weather Ball. 2 great games though. I don't regret anything about the games. Well, the T-Tar, I should have switched my T-Tar out and not even risk that roll. I didn't need to, and yeah. It needs to Dynamax here. Either way, good game, good game. I actually really enjoyed these 2 games. 2 very, very, very simple wins for us too, but you live and you learn. I definitely got too eager with T-Tar. I'm like, oh yeah, I get to rest, eat that hit, blah blah blah. But at that point, it wasn't even necessarily about getting T-Tar back to full necessarily. It was, but it wasn't. It was far more important just to have the sand as an option. Because imagine if I just had T-Tar and switched Drillin versus Togekiss. No matter what he went for, Drill wouldn't have gone down. Drill would have forced him to sack his Torkoal, and then I have complete weather control, which shuts down his Venusaur. And so that way Dragapult could always come in and destroy his Venusaur. I could cap the T-Tar and still have rocks. Get right, like there's just so many things that could have happened. So fun mistakes in this one, but you know, in due time rounded out around 19 or 2000. Let's see, because we did want to get number 1 before. Let's see what number 1 is. Number 1 is only 2000. Shout outs to C's Ibanez. So number 1 is only 2000. So we definitely can knock that out. The teams have been better. It's just a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun, surprisingly, towards the end of the meta game. But nothing too crazy. We have 13. We have like a week, so we can get number 1. So that's what we're gonna head for. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.